In this tutorial we are going to make a basic Blazor server application and it will be called activity tracker. So what we will do here, we will basically track the activities what we have done in our daily life. Suppose I have worked on something today, so I will add entry for that thing on a particular date, and then we can track how many hours we have worked in a particular week or particular month or in a particular time frame. So that's just a basic application which we are going to make with Blazor server. And if you find this video helpful, then please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe this channel to get more videos like this. Before moving ahead, let's take a quick look at the demo of this project so that you can know in advance what we are going to make. So it is our activity tracker app, and we will track our daily activity, how many hours we have worked or how many hours we have spent on some specific activities. You can track those things and you can track the productivity hours of your life. So here we have this thing, activity tab. Now we have this login and sign up, and we have implemented those things. So it's just for the demonstration purpose so that we can demonstration the routing of Blazor server. And here you can see that we have this form. So here you can add any record. So let's just say I want to add something on date 17th of October, and it's a 4. And here let's add worked on C# desktop app and learned let's say learn dictionary, something like that, in C#. And if we click on this, you can see that we have added this entry here. Here 17th one, 4 hour, and this we can also update this thing, and let's remove this thing, and you can see here it is working fine. We can also delete this record, it is deleted successfully. And here you can see we have total hours. So if we filter this from 1 to 4, so you will see that we have filtered our record also. We can also load all the records back, and we have this reset functionality here. So that's all that's all about the app what we are going to build. And I think it is necessary to know in advance what you are going to build so that you can decide if you want to work on this tutorial or not. So if you want to continue this tutorial, so move ahead. So let's start. So let's create a database first. So here press Ctrl N and it will open a new tab for us. And here I have this pre-written script, and do not worry about it, I will provide this script to you guys, so do not worry about this script. So first of all, we will create the database activity tracker, and here our database has been created. Now after creating this database, what we will do here is we will just use this database. Now we will create this table. So I'm gonna copy this thing, and now here we will create this table. So we are inside our database activity tracker, you can see here. Now here we have this table activity with ID, primary key and identity, activity date, date time not null, total hours float not null, description and varchar 200, and it is a nullable property. You can also make it not null, it's totally up to you. So let's make it not null also. So here, that's it. Now click on this execute button and our table has been created. After that we will create this stored procedure. Now we will create this stored procedure, so copy this thing and here we will paste it. So let me walk you through this stored procedure. It's just a stored procedure for getting list of activities along with these filters, start date and end date. So these are parameters which we are providing: start date, date time, and end date time, and both of these parameters are optional, so that's why we have assigned null to them. Here we are checking if start date is null or end date is null. If any one of this is null, then we will select top 7 records from activity table ordered by id descending. So the latest record will be on the top, followed by the other records. So now otherwise we will select all the activities where activities comes in this range between start date and end date. So that's a simple stored procedure, and we will execute this stored procedure. Oops. Okay, now we are fine. So we have created our stored procedure, and this last query we will use it in our actual project. We are not going to use it here, and that's it for our stored procedure, sorry, SQL part. So now right now we cannot see anything here, but if we refresh it, then we can see that we have this table activity tracker along with this table. Sorry, it was database, it is a table, and here inside the programmability you will see the stored procedure get activities. So that is our database part. Now we will move to our project section, and I'm going to disconnect it, and I just want to show you it is our server name. So you need to use this server name in our connection string. So yeah, that's it. So let's close this thing. Now we'll create a new project. I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can also use Visual Studio or JetBrains Writer. It's up to you, but steps will be a little bit different. Not much different. Actually, if you are creating a project, then you must be aware of your editor. So that should not be a big problem here. Now we will create a new project. So click here if you are using Visual Studio Code, and here you will see this icon, this button, create .NET project. Why am I getting this button? Because I have installed dev kit extension for C#. So make sure to install this package, not package, extension. Make sure to install this extension. It will be handy if you are developing a .NET application in VS Code. So when you will install it, it will automatically install all the extension that you will need to develop in C#, like this extension, or here one more, yeah, this extension, and I guess there would be one more extension, maybe. So I guess that's it. And so make sure to install this extension. And now few people ask me which theme I am using. So here I'm using this theme, jellyfish theme, and for icons I am using material theme that gives me nice icons. Okay, so now we can create a new project. So here I'm going to click on this button, and it will take a while. Actually it is downloading few things, so it will take a while, so we have to wait a little. Okay, I guess it's finished, and now here you can see we have a lot of options. So I'm going to search here Blazor server. So I have typed server, Blazor server app, Blazor server app empty. I'm going to use the empty one because we will create our own design in this app. So here click on the second option, the empty app. Okay, now we'll decide a location where we want to install it. So I'm going to install it here in the project section, in the .NET, and select folder. That's it. Okay, now we will enter the name of project. So I'm going to name it Blazor activity tracker. It will be our project. Press enter and it will take a little longer to create a new project. So okay, now our project has been created, and here you can see that we have this folder and here we have our project. So right now we do not have any solution explorer here because it takes a time to generate a solution explorer, so it will be available in a while. Yeah, so here you can see that now we have our solution explorer and we can check it here. It is our project, and yeah, so we have one project here. So we will create one more project inside this solution. So I'm going to click here in the plus icon, new project, and here we will create another project. So it will take a while. Now it has appeared here, and now we will create a class library project. So here we have two options, the class library, Razor class library. So we will select this first option, class library. So click on this and let's name it simply data access. That's it. Or you can name it Blazor activity tracker dot data access, whatever you want to do. I just want to name it data access. So press enter and press enter again. Default directory, yes, and it will take a little while. Yeah, no, it is created quickly. So here we have this project class library. Here we will have this class1.cs that we won't be needed, so I am going to delete it, and I have deleted it also. Okay, so now we have our two projects. So let's see how to run this application. So here, first of all, let's see what's inside this thing. Here we have our application, and here we will see that we have these pages and this www root file. Here we have our css, and here we have this app Razor file, and here we have few errors, and now they are gone suddenly. I don't know what was happening here. I guess it's a little weird bug. Okay, now we have again this red error, so we will see it later why it is happening. Okay, so first of all, let's see what we got here. Now you can see that we have two options here, solution explorer and the default explorer of Visual Studio. You can use any one of it. I'm going to use the other one, the Visual Studio one, sorry, the VS Code Explorer, because I am much more used to of this explorer, so I'm going to use it. You can also use it. You will get lots of options here, like you can create a class with little bit of boilerplate, or you have some options like when you click on add a new file, you will see that you have multiple options of creating these files, so you can follow it. And I'm going to use this option, and here we have properties, and here we have launch setting.json file, and here you will see that we have these profiles. So it is our HTTP profile, so our application will run on localhost 5258, and it is our HTTPS profile, so our application will run on HTTPS localhost 7102. So it is our HTTPS profile. It is our IIS profile that is not useful here, so we are not going to talk about it. So you just need to be aware that our project will run on these two URLs. It is our HTTP port, and this one is our HTTPS application URL. Okay, now let's run this project. So press Ctrl Shift P. Okay, it will open a command palette. You can also find it here in the view and command palette. Ctrl Shift P, and let's type here .NET, and here you will see lots of options. So we are going to use let me think, which one is it? .NET project, .NET. So it should be something like .NET generate assets for build and debug. I hope it is true. And now it will generate files for us that we need to debug our code. Okay, after that, here in this section you will see this button, and when we click on this button, it will run our project. Okay, now it is our project that is displaying in this URL localhost 7102, and let's close it. And after closing it, we will stop it from here. Let's see how this hello world is getting displayed here. So here we have this app.razor file, and here you can see that here we have some errors. So I don't know why these errors are displaying here, but actually these are not error because our project is running absolutely fine. So here we can see that we have this main layout, and in the font section we have this main layout, and here we have this not found section. So it is our not found section. So let's close this thing and let's go here, main layout page. So it is our main layout page, and here it is our default application that is running, sorry, default page. And we should have one more page here. So this one is our main layout page. It means whatever we define here will be applied to every page. So we will define our layout here, like we will define our header or footer here, that will be common in all the pages. So this main layout page will be used for that purpose. And how it is defined? It is defined here in the app.razor, and here it is our default layout, which is main layout. Now let's go here in the pages section, and here you will see that we have two pages, host and index. So if we click on this index page, and here we will see that we have this title, hello world. So that's why we are getting hello world in our default page. It is the URL. It means if we do not define any URL, so this page will be displayed. And here you will see it is a kind of index.html page. Here we have everything defined. So here we have our css, and here we have our JavaScript code, and everything we need in our application have been defined here. So yeah, here this one is a error UI, which is defined here. So if we need anything to link like CSS or JavaScript, we can define these things here. So let's close this thing, and it is our index page. We can run our project like just we have run earlier, or we can also run it from here. So let's right click here and let's click on open in new integrated terminal, and here you will see that we have this terminal. So oops, we have to wait for it. Yeah, now we are fine. So what we will do here, we will just type .net run, and we will run our project. So if I type here .net watch, let's see what will happen. So it will open our project in watch mode. That will enable a hot reload option. That's nice thing when you are developing UI. So here we have our project, but right now it is not running in HTTPS, so it is not that much secure, but it certainly is running. And if I change it to hello YouTube, then let's see what will happen. It will, yeah, it has changed to the YouTube. So now how to change it from 5258 to 7201? So right now let's close this guy and let's press Ctrl C here, which will stop our server here. And I have talked about this launch setting.json file, and here you can see we have our order. So first we have HTTP profile, then we have HTTPS profile, and it is just kind of weird hack. So we will just cut this thing and we will paste it on the top. Now by default this profile is going to run. It means this URL is going to run our application. So again, let's type .net watch and run our project. So now you can see our project is running in port 7102, which is HTTPS port, and we are fine here. So let's close it for now because we do not need it anymore. Okay, that's fine. Now what we will do here, here we have this where it is app setting.json file, and here we will define our connection string. So I'm just gonna type here connection string, and here it is the key of our connection string, which is default. And here we will define server, and name of server, database equals to name of database, integrated security equals to true, and one more thing, encrypt equals to false. Okay, so our server name was, we will write it later. Our database was activity tracker, I guess, activity tracker, it was our database, and our server will be here. So I'm going to check it. Actually it's a, I don't remember this name. So we have to wait. So it is our server name. I'm going to copy this guy and just going to paste it here. Oops, what is happening here? Copy and paste here, double slash, and now we will be fine. So here we have server, database, and server database integrated security true, encrypt false. Okay, so we are done now. We have defined our connection string. Okay, now we will work on the database connectivity. So right now we will install few packages. So I am going to right click on this data access folder, and here we will see open in integrated terminal. So it will open it in the terminal. So here we can see this data access directory. So we will install these packages inside the data access directory. Make sure to change your directory to data access. We do not install it to Blazor activity tracker. We do not have to install it here. We need to install these packages inside these data access. So first package we will install in not install package .net add package, and the name of package will be dapper. So it is our first package that is going to be installed. We will install 2 more packages after that. So yeah, again let's install another one, Microsoft .data.sql client. I'm not so sure about this package. Actually there might be some typos, but I hope it is Microsoft.data.sql client. If it is a wrong package, then we will definitely reinstall it in the future. Okay, .NET add package, Microsoft.data.sql client. It is useful for creating a connection string. Another package we need to install. So I have copied the name of this package, Microsoft.extensions, as extensions, it is a plural, configuration, there is no S, and abstractions. Here we have the S, abstractions. Microsoft.extensions.configuration.abstractions. So this package is useful to access the data from appsetting.json file. If you want to access anything from appsetting.json file, then you need to install this package, because our connection string is defined in appsetting.json file. That's why we need to install this package. Now we have installed all the packages that we need. Now what we will do here, we'll move here, and here we will create a new file which will be let's say activity models. It will be a folder, and here activity.cs, it is our activity class. Now here let's type C# class. It is a snippet that I have been not pre-installed. I have created this snippet by myself for the sake of saving time. Okay, so our namespace will be name of project, which will be data access dot models. Okay, and here we will have our class name. So our class is activity. That's it. We will have few properties. So first one will be ID. Okay, next one will be a string. String, and it will be description. Okay, and another one will be date time. activity date, and the last one will be double, and it will be total hours. I hope these fields are right. So here we have this activity tracker script. We can see id, activity date. Let's copy these names. It is activity date, okay, total hours, okay, another one will be description, okay. Let's do one more thing, just copy this thing and copy it here. Actually, you do not have to follow this step, it's just for you guys. So I'm going to paste this script here. So let's create, actually do not follow this step, I'm just going to give this script to you guys. That's why I am creating a file. Let's name it activity.sql, and here I will paste the whole script. And now you can find this script along with the project. So yeah, okay, just close this thing. Okay, now here we have our file, sorry, our model class. Now we will define some validation here. So first validation will be this, it is a required property, this one is a required property too, and it is also, and here we will define one more thing, max length will be 200, that's it. And here we will define our range validator, and our range will be 1 to 24 because we have only 24 hours, so I'm going to validate it. Okay, now we have done our validation. Now let's close this thing and let's close this thing also. Okay, now we will create one more file here inside the data access. So let's click on new file, it will be activity repository, and before that repositories. Okay, let's click on this, and here we have this file. We'll create one more file here, activity repository.cs. okay, now we'll create our interface here. So first we need to use data access dot model. Now here it is our namespace data access dot repositories, and now we will create our interface activity repository. And here it is our first method, which is add activity async, which will take one parameter as an object of activity type, and it will return an activity. Another one is a delete activity async, and it is a void type, which will take one parameter id. Another one is find activity by id async, which will take id as a parameter, and it will return activity type. Okay, so next thing will be our this one, I enumerable activity get all activity async, and it will take two parameters. First one will be start date, another one will be end date, and both are optional parameter. That's why I have defined a null here. And the last one will be a void type update activity async, which will take object activity of type activity. And actually this one should be a type of activity. Okay. Okay, now we will create a new class here, public. Oops. First thing we will do here using what it was, data access dot models. Now here namespace, name of namespace will be data access dot repositories, and here we have this snippet. Okay, name of class will be activity repository. That's good. Okay, now here we will do few things. So first thing we will do here, we will type ctor, press enter, and it will create what we call it, constructor. It will create a constructor for us. Here we will create a new read-only private field, which will be private read-only eye configuration. Okay, let's name it to config and get set. Sorry, it should not be get set. That will be enough. It is a private field. Next thing, we will create a private read-only string connection string, and let's copy this guy here and just type here config equals to config, and next one is connection string equals to, what should we name it, config dot get connection string default. And now you might be wondering that why we have written here default, because it is the key of our connection string, which is defined here in the app setting.json. You can see here we have this key default. That's why we have wrote here default. So that's how we can get our connection string. Okay, after that, okay, now we will define this repository, define functions in this repository. So here we will write using system.data, using dapper, using data access dot models, and using microsoft.data.sql client. Okay, after that, what we will do here, we will define this method public async task, which will return activity, add activity async, and this parameter activity of type activity. And now here we will create a connection using idb connection, which is from system.data connection equals to new SQL connection, which is from microsoft.data.sql client. And here we will define our connection string. Okay, now we will write our SQL query, insert into activity date total hours description equals to @activity date total hours description. Now one more thing, at last we will type select scope identity, scope @identity, which will return recently created ID. Okay, now we will write here int created ID equals to await connection dot execute scalar async int, and here we will define SQL, and we will pass a new anonymous object with these data. Make sure this data and this means these properties should be matched here. Activity date should be matched to activity date, total hours should be matched to total hours, description should be matched to description. and that's it. And at last we will set activity.id equals to created id. We will return activity so or create activity is completed. Now we will work on update activity, public async task, update activity async, which will get one parameter activity, and here we'll define a question just as we have done before. Now our query will be update activity, set activity date equals to @activity date, total hours, description where id equals to id. Now here we will write await connection dot execute async sql comma activity. So we have passed the whole object here because this object contain all of these four fields. That's why I have passed this whole object here. Okay, now we will define delete activity async, which will take one parameter id. Here we will create a connection. We will define a query delete it from activity where id equals to id, await connection dot execute async SQL and anonymous object where we are passing id. Okay, now we will define one more method here, find activity by id async, and here we will define our connection, and here we have this SQL query select asterisk from activity where id equals to id, activity equals to await connection dot query first or default async, which will return as an object, and SQL, and here we have passed a new anonymous object, and we will return activity. The last method we are going to use get all activities async, and it will take two optional parameters, date time start date and end date. Now we will define a connection string here, and with this query we can get all the data from activity table, but we are not going to use it. We are going to use a stored procedure which we have created earlier. So here var activities equals to await connection dot query async, which is a type of activity, get activities in this stored procedure we have created earlier, and it will take two parameters, start date and end date, and here we will define a new anonymous object where we will pass the parameter start date and end date. This start date and end date and end date, these thing and these things should be matched to each other. Now we will return activities. Okay, so here we have defined 1 2 3 4 5, all the 5 methods. Now here we can write I activity repository, and we are done. So here we can close it, and now we can register it in our program.cs file. So open the Blazor project. Here you will see the program.cs file, and here you can register it, builder.services.add transient, and here we can just register it with I activity. Okay, it is not going to work. Now we need to go here in the solution explorer, and that's why the C# extension, the devkit extension, is very useful, so we can make use of it. Here right click on this Blazor activity tracker project, and here you will see that add project reference, click on data access. Now we have registered our project data access project to our Blazor server project. Okay, now we can go here. If you want, you can go here, or you can just work with this solution explorer. Okay, now here I can type activity repository and activity repository, and that's fine. And now we are done here in the program.cs section. Okay, now open this folder here, and here you will have this folder pages. So if you are using the normal normal explorer, then we will just create a file here with name. But if you are using this solution explorer, then you have some extra perks, and the perks like you can create a razor file. So I've clicked on this add icon, When I have clicked on this, then here we have these multiple options. Now you can choose razor component or page. We have to choose a razor page, and let's name it header. Then it will create, oops, I got confused, so I was wrong. Yeah, we have to create razor component, not razor page. Razor component, okay. It will be header, and now we will have our header dot razor page. Now we will delete this header dot cshtml dot cs file because we do not need it. Okay, so now we have our razor header dot razor file, and I'm also going to delete it because I'm going to show you we can also do it without this the solution explorer. If you are not using it, then it's fine. We can also create just like a plain file. Here we will create a header dot razor, and we are good to go. And here we will just have code section, and above it we will define our HTML or CSS, whatever you want to define here. So here we will define our CSS, and here we will define our HTML. Okay, now we will define our links here. So it is our header div or header element with class nav header, which we will define later. Here we have span class equals to brand, and it is a brand name which is just a Blazor app, and we will change it later if we want to change it. Okay, now we have this UL with class nav. Here we have li, and here you can see this nav link. So this element is provided by Blazor, and it will manage the routing system of Blazor. It means if you are in active link, then it will automatically attach the class dot active, so we do not have to worry about it. So here we have our nav link, and in the href we are not going to define anything because home page is our root page, which is index dot razor page, something like that. So home page is our index page. Now we will define another link which is activity. Here href equals to activity, and we will define this this page later. Now we will have another page here, another link, login, and we will define this link later. And one more, login. After login we have this sign up. So usually we do not use this nav link, we usually use anchor tag, but if we use this nav link, then we will get some extra perks, like you do not have to worry which class is active right now. You simply have to define active class CSS here. So you simply have to define that active class CSS, and it will automatically append a dot active class here, whichever link is active right now. So we will define CSS now. Okay, so let's define it, and here we have CSS for nav header, display flex, height will be 60px, align item center, justify content space between, background color is this, and padding. Now we will define the CSS for brand. Yeah, this one, brand, which is our Blazor app. Color will be white, font size 25px, font weight bold, and dot nav, display flex, gap 25, nav li, display inline, list style none, and here we will have CSS for navigation link. And I am providing this pseudo class deep, which is a Blazor specific pseudo class. So we will talk about it later why we are using it. Text decoration none, font size 18 pixel, color white, and cursor pointer. Here we have this active color equals to yellow important, and nav li a hover, so it is a css for hovering over any link. Okay, so now we have defined our css, so let's remove this deep from here just for a while. And right now it won't affect on it, so it won't create any problem. Navigation link, yeah. Now let's run our application. So we are going to write here .NET watch and press enter. So here we have our app, and it does not have any header right now because we haven't got this header anywhere yet. So here we will go to our layout, main layout.razor page, and we will call this header here. So header, and press control dot, that's it. Okay, now we should be fine here. So now you can see that we have our header. So let's change from Blazor app to activity tracker. Okay, so it is working absolutely fine, but you can see that we have this awkward space around this navigation bar. So we will tackle it from our, let's see where we can find it. We should have a global style sheet somewhere. Okay, so here we have this site.css. We can define it here. So I'm going to define some css here. P0, it means padding 0, M0, it means margin 0, and we should be fine right now. Okay, so we are fine, and we will work on some fonts here. So I'm gonna type here Google fonts, and we will pick some fonts here. Okay, so where are our fonts? Yeah, just click on this guy. After that, do we have any selected fonts? Yeah, we have selected it. Now I have removed it, and I am going to select my kind of favorite font, Poppins. Okay, here we will have multiple options, so we are going to select the regular one. Okay, so we have our regular fonts, and here we have these two options. Either we can use these links, or we can just use this import option. So obviously we are going to use this import option here. So let's import these fonts here, and after that you will see that we have this line. So just copy this line, and we will apply it to the whole application. Okay, font family Poppins, otherwise sans serif. If Poppins doesn't present, for some reason we are not using internet or something like this, for any reason, if Poppins is not available, then this sans serif will work. Okay, now we have some good fonts. So here you can see we have active link home. Now activity login something, because we haven't defined any page, so we can see this error message here. That's totally fine. Okay, now we have done our initial setup. Now what we will do here, we'll do some work. So let's see how we can move this css to other page. For that, create a file with same name, just like this one, header.razor.css, header.razor.css. and now we can copy these, all of these css, and just remove this guy from here. and let's copy these things here. So let's see will it work or not. So here we do not have any CSS yet because we have to do one setting here, and that setting is we have to apply it to our index file. So our root file is host. Where is our host? It should be here, and host.cshtml. Okay, so inside the host.cshtml file, let's copy this line, link href equals to blank, and here relation equals to style sheet, and here we will define our project name. So our project name is Blazor activity tracker. So copy this thing and type style.css. so I guess it is styles, not style, styles.css. so let's run this project again. So I'm a little bit confused, it was styles or styles. We will find it later. For that we have to reload our project. So let's see what will happen. Okay, now that was what it was, styles. So our project name is styles.css, and it will create this CSS bundle, and inside this bundle it will hold our CSS file for header.razor page. So let's close this. So right now we are not seeing any link here because few things are not getting applied here. That's why we was using deep here. So it was what it was, deep, I forget about it. So I guess it's deep. So let's save this thing, and it should be applied now. Okay, so it is applied. Let's close this guy, and let's close this guy too. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my project here again. Okay, that's good. Now what we will define here, we'll define pages for these links. We'll create home and activity, login, sign up. That's good. And here we will define our pages. So first page will be, let's see what it should be. It should be login dot razor. Okay, just define here code, and let's write here h2 login. That's it. One more page will be sign up dot razor, and here will be sign up, and here we will define the code section. Okay, that's not a big deal. And now we will define one more thing, and we will create a folder because we will create a lot of pages for this activity. Okay, so here let's change it to activity. Let's name it to manage activity, and here we will create a new page, manage activity dot razor, and here we will write h2 manage activity. That's it, at the red code. Okay, and we forgot one thing here. Here we will define the link, so it will be activity. So this activity is also defined here, Okay, now we will define these two also. So let's close this guy. Let's open the login.razor page, and on the top of it we will define page equals to page will be login. Okay, and oops, why I am getting error here. Okay, now we are fine. Page login, and after that sign up, and here should be at the rate page sign up. Okay, so we will run our project. We can also run it from here, so I'm just going to run it from here. Okay, so let's check it. It is our activity, it is login, and it is sign up. Okay, so our basic setup has been done, and let's close this guy. Let's close it also, and here we will define few more pages for the future. So let's create them right now. Okay, so we will define a new folder here. Let's name it UI or U capital UI. Here we will define our dumb components, and manage activity will be our smart component. Here we will define all the database activities, and inside the UI we will create some components. We will break our manage activities component into multiple components. So manage activity will be our smart component. Here we will define our all the database connectivity, and here inside UI we will have the component that will handle only HTML or basic design. So it won't, these components won't interact with the databases. So our first component will be activity form. So let's name it activity form dot razor, and let's define here, and that's it. One more, we will create one more activity list dot razor, and let's define code block here. That's fine. And one more thing, the last component will be our filter dot razor. So here we will define our filters. Okay, so we will call these components here, and before that, what should we do now? Okay, now we will work on some design part. So we are going to use Bootstrap in this project. So just go here and type Bootstrap 5 and click on this introduction link page, and here we will have these things. So now here we have these links. First we are going to copy this CSS, and we are going to open host.cshtml. Here we will paste this link. Okay, now we will paste our JavaScript also. So copy this one, this bundle one, and let's paste it here at the bottom. Okay, now we are good. So I hope it is working now. So now we can work on our other pages. Here we have this UI section. So first of all, we will work on this. Let's work on this one first. So let's remove this guy, and let's type here div and class equals to row. Okay, and here we will define our columns. So it will be div dot call md let's say 5 will be enough. Oops. Div dot call md5, and I don't know why it is not working, so I will just type like this. Okay, and another row will be div dot call md 7. Again it's not working, that's okay, and call md7, and it should be call md5. Okay, so here what we will define here will be our activity form. Okay, so we will define our activity form here, and here we will define our let's say activity list and filters. So we will define these things here. So let's call our activity form what it was, activity form. Okay, so we will call this component here activity form, and oops, activity form. So let's type here using and our project name dot pages dot manage activity, and it should be like this. I hope we should be fine now. So let's see how it is looking. Let's run this project. So I'm going to type here .net watch, and we are going to run it in a watch mode. Okay, so it is our project, and here let's click here, and there isn't showing anything. So let's open this activity form page, and let's define something here. Let's just type activity form. Let's see what will happen. So it will take a little while, and now it should be reflected here if we have call it. So I think it is not working right now. So now let's see what might be the problem. So how we can find the problem? The obvious thing is here, look at this warning, and found markup element with unexpected name activity form. If this is intended to be a component, add a using directive. So it means we are not able to use it. And here, let's go here. Our manage activity is inside the UI folder, but we are just using here this thing. So we have to add proper UI or proper directory path or namespace, whatever it is. So here we can see we have now activity form displaying. Okay, so now what we will do here, we can just remove this guy, and we can just do like this, and I hope it will be okay. Okay, now we will define our form here. So let's type here something div okay class equals to nothing. We are not going to define any class right now. Okay, now what we will do here, we will do something. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so first of all, let's delete this div dot mb3 margin bottom 3, and I wonder why it is not working like this. Okay, here we will define input type equals to text, class equals to form control. That's good, and it should be input type equals to date, Okay. Okay, so it will be our activity date, and now we will define here a label that I have forgot to add. Activity date. Okay, and after that, so it is our activity date, and you can see here we have this one. Okay, so now we will define some other fields. So it will be total hours, which will be input type text, and another one will be description, which is a text area. And now we will define a button, which is a submit type with save text, and a reset button with type equals to button. So let's see how it will look. Okay, so it is looking fine. We will do one more thing here. We will just wrap it up with something div. Okay, class equals to py. We can do it somewhere else. Oops, what I have done. Yeah, so we will give it a padding py2. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, so no luck so far. It's a px. Okay, now we are good. And I think rather than defining it here, I should define it here. Oops, I don't know what I have done. Okay, I think it is fine now. So we can also define here like this. Let's give it padding from every side, and now we are fine. So we can give a little more padding from all the side, and it is looking much better now. Okay, so it is our manage activity form, sorry, and now it is good. So let's define our table here. So our table is this one, activity list, and here we will define our table. So first of all, we will define our table here. So its class will be, oops, sorry. So it should be like this, and our class will be table border t head. Inside t head we will define our some headers. First column will be activity date, second one is hours, third one is description. Now we will have a action column, so we will define it here. We will define our buttons for edit and delete. Now we will define our body. So date, and I am just entering some random data here. It's actually not a data, it's just a placeholder. Date, hours, description, and here we will define our edit button, and it will be our delete button. So let's add value. So I'm using Windows 11 emojis. Let's type here pencil. You can also use icons from Font Awesome. I'm not going to use it just sake of the time, just for the sake of time. Sorry for my bad English. Okay, so here we will do it again, and here we will have this dustbin or recycle bin icon. It's a cart icon actually, so I need to look for a bin icon. So I'm going to search here bin, and it should be fine. Okay, now here we will call this guy, so let's call it activity list. Okay, now here is not any error, so you can see how it is looking. Yeah, actually this green button is not looking that much great, so I am just going to change it from btn info will be good enough. These icons are, this icon actually, pencil icon is looking good, but this one is not looking that good. Actually it's okay. So yeah, what can we expect? Okay, so we will call one more thing here and here, which is filter. So I will call it here, let's name it filter. Okay, so after that let's open this guy, and here let's just type something. Let's see, is it working? Yeah, it is working. Now we will define our filter here. So I'm gonna type here div class equals to, let's say, py1. I just want a little bit padding from up and down, top and bottom. That's it. And here I am going to define a row. It will be a row. Here we will define two columns. So div dot call and call md, let's say 6, and here we will define a button input type, sorry, not button, input type equals to date, class equals to form control, and it will be our start date. That's it. And let's see, 4 will be enough. After that, one more, it will be end date, and the last one will be a button. So button type equals to button and class equals to btn primary. And let's see, do we have something like this? Search. Okay, let's name it default. Default one will look much better. Okay, it's looking ugly, so let's see btn, what we get in secondary. It's again looking ugly. Info is looking, yeah, okay. Let's work on the form submit functionality. So open this import section, and here we will import this thing globally using data access dot models dot, let's see, models will be enough. Next thing, we will import this. Okay, and I think it should be good. Okay, so here what we will define inside the code section, let's define here data access, not data access, activity, okay, and activity equals to new activity. That should be fine. Activity filters dot activity. So yeah, it is not working as expected, so I'm just going to type here data access dot model dot activity. Okay, actually it is taking activity from somewhere else. That's why I am defining the proper namespace. Okay, now we will put all these things inside this edit form, press Ctrl dot. Okay, now we should be fine. So it is our form, and here let's define model, and we will bind it to activity, and we will bind these fields also. So bind equals to activity dot date, activity date. Okay, and we will do same thing here. It should be actually it shouldn't be like this. Actually, I am doing it in the wrong place. Sorry guys, sorry for that. So let's remove this thing, and this thing also, and this thing also, and this thing also, and open form, activity form, and define same thing here, and put it inside the edit form, press Ctrl dot. Okay, and let's paste it here. And now we will define the bind. Before that, here we will pass model equals to activity. Okay, so first of all, let's stop this. So I do not want to run it. Okay, and we also have to define @ here, and after that we will bind our inputs to this activities properties. Okay, but before that we need to define this hidden field, and we are binding this hidden field to activity.id. When we are saving our data, we are creating a record, then we do not need this field, but we are managing edit and add on the same form. That's why we are using this hidden field here, because when we are editing our record we need a ID. Otherwise, if we are only handling the add, then we do not have to define it. So in the case of saving the data, means in the case of creating data, it will be 0, and when we are updating data, then it will be 1, 2 or whatever, but it will have some value which will be greater than 0. So in the case of update, it will be greater than 0. In the case of creation or create, it will be 0. Now we will bind our date property to activity date and total hours, and after that the last one is description. Okay, so let's see how we can define on form submit method. For that we have this on submit method, and we will bind it to handle submit, but right now we do not have any handle submit method, so we will create one here. It will be a void type, and inside that we will just type here the console.writeLine. So let's run our project. For that I am going to write here .NET watch. We can do that, but I think I am going to do I'm going to run it from here. In case if we need to debug anything, then we can easily debug with this debugger. In the case of this .NET run or .NET watch command, we cannot debug our code. So if you need to debug your code, then you need to run it from here. So let's click here, and after that we have these things. So let's type something here and here and here. So I have clicked on submit button, and here you can see I have this value which we have logged here, activity.description. It means this thing is working very fine. Okay, so after that what we will do here, we will first of all we will stop this guy, and now we will do two things. First we will create a handle reset. Okay, it should be reset, and here we will reset our form. And actually let's comment this thing, and let's handle reset in the parent form, so do not worry about the reset. So now what we will do here, we will validate our form. So for validation purpose, first of all we have to define validation in model. So we already have done that. Here we have defined our validation. Now we will define our validation here. Okay, now so first of all we need to define this thing here, and data annotations validator. So it will enable our validation in this form. Do not forget to mention this element, whatever it is. I don't know what to say it. I think it is element. Okay, after that we will define validation for each property. So here we will define validation message class equals to text danger, which is a bootstrap property, and for we will call a method, and inside that we will define activity dot activity date. Okay, and same thing will happen here, but it will be replaced with total hours, and here it will be replaced with description. So it is our validation, but one thing we have to change here, rather than on submit we will use on valid submit. Now this method, or sorry, this form will be submitted only when we have a valid data. So let's run this code and let's see. So here you can see, here we are seeing all the validation message. So here let's define any date. Okay, after date, let's see, let's define it's to 1. Okay, if I define it to 25, then again I am seeing error. Okay, so 1 would be fine, and here description, and that's fine. So it is working as we have expected. So now what we will do here, right now we are submitting our form here, but we need to submit this form from our parent page. So it is our parent page and it is our child page. We will submit this handle submit method from our parent, and this activity data will be passed from our parent. So how we will do that? So in the case of passing data from parent to child, we will convert it to a property. So it will be, let's type here, oops, shortcut is not working here, so let's type it manually. Public and data models activity. Let's paste this guy here. Okay, and after that we'll define get set. Okay, and let's comment this guy. Actually, let's delete this guy. Okay, and above that we will type parameter, and by typing parameter, this activity will be passed from our parent page. Okay, so that's the case of our activity. So let's see how we can call this method from our parent. For that, we need some kind of mechanism so that we can invoke this method from our parent. So we have one class here which is called event callback. So we will define here event callback. Okay, and before that we'll define public and public event callback data access dot models dot activity. It is a type of data which we want to pass to our parent. So we want to pass an activity type of object, so that's why we are defining this thing here. Okay, after that let's change it to on form submit, or we can just call it form submit, something like that. Yeah, it will be, let's change it to valid form submit. It will make more sense. Let's define get set here. Since we are accessing it from our parent, so we need to define this parameter here. Okay, now with this property we can access our handle submit method. But for that, what we will do here, let's remove this guy, and here we will, let's change it to async and void. Okay, async void handle submit and await valid handle submit valid form submit dot invoke async, and here we will pass this data. Okay, so that should be fine. So that's how we can submit our data. So we need to do one more thing here. We have one more button which is called form reset, and we do not have to pass any data to the parent, so we cannot use this event callback method because it asks us to pass some data, but we do not have to pass any data. So for that, what we can do, we can create just a simple action delegate. So here we will define a delegate public action, which is a delegate which do not return anything. So it's action, and let's name it to form reset get set. Okay, and from here we will call this one form reset dot invoke, and from here we will call our Actually, not from here, it is already calling from here, handle submit. Okay, so here in the child end we have done everything what we can do. Now we will move here to the parent end, and here we'll do something. So here, let's see, activity data access dot models dot activity equals to new data access dot models dot activity. It is our activity, and here we will define void handle submit, and here void handle reset, okay, and here we will just see activity and we will pass activity to it. So that's how we can pass data from parent to child, and we can call or invoke the method of child. For that we will define here form reset, and form reset equals to handle reset and valid form submit equals to form handle submit, and handle submit method will have one parameter which is a type of activity activity. Okay, it is saying that the name handle submit method does not exist in the current context. Handle submit now what it is saying. Okay, so I guess we are fine, and here should be like this. Okay, so let's run our code, but before that let's see what we can do. Here activity equals to new activity. Actually here what we can do one thing, and by default we can change activity date to date time dot utc now. Okay, and we can copy this thing again, and let's see, activity equals to this thing. So we are resetting our form like this, and here we will simply type console dot write line activity dot, let's say, activity dot activity date dot to string or to short date string, something like that. We should have activity date dot, I guess we do not have that method, and here we will define total hours. After that, description. Let's see is it working or not. So here we are going to run this code. So when I click on this, we can see we have this error. So let's type F12 and let's see. It is saying that cannot send data if connection is not connected state, and here does not have a property matching name activity. So I guess I am doing something terribly wrong. Let's see what I am doing here. And here actually I have a habit of using Angular syntax. That's why I am messing here. Here should not be any bracket. It should be simply activity equals to activity, form reset equals to form reset, and handle submit. So that should be the case. And after that, let's see what we can do. Let's run this project again and let's see. Okay, so we are here now. And you can see, let's change it to 3 and change it to this. Click on save button, and here, oops, not here, here, you can see we have logged these 3 values. So if I click on this reset button, it is not working, and it's not working because we are calling the method of our child. So that's how our state works. So yeah, actually I'm not able to explain it. Let me think about it. Since our activity model, which is this one, where it is here, since this activity model is defined here in our parent, and we are initializing it here in the parent, then we are passing its value to our child page, which is activity form. Now our reset method is called in activity form.razor page, which is our child page. So we are trying to reset this thing. We are trying to change its value from our child. So we cannot do directly like this. So we have to call state has changed method, and we have to manually change the state. So we will call this thing here, state has changed. That's it. Now it should work fine. So let's hope it is working fine. Okay, so let's go here and let's type something, this, and this, and again it is not working. So I hope why it is not working. So let's see, let's put a breakpoint here. Let's see it is working or not. So here you can see that we are not able to invoke this method completely. So here might be some issue. So let me see what is happening here. So here is a mistake by my side. Actually it is @ on click, and here it should be a method like this, form reset dot invoke, and I hope we will be fine after that. So let's try this reset method again, and it is not working. Yeah, actually it is working. I have put this breakpoint here. Let's remove this breakpoint and it should be fine now. So if I click on this guy, let's change it to this, then this. Yeah, we are fine now. So it is our form submit that has been completed, and actually we haven't connected it to database yet. We will do it at last. First we will do every kind of UI activity, then at last we will connect it to database. So here we will, let's type here to do and save data to database. And here one more thing that I want to show you, that we can also move this thing to a separate file like we did in our CSS. And for that, what we will do, we will create a new file inside this manage activity folder, and it should be the similar as the manage activity. Its name should be matched to our Razor page, so it will be manage activity dot razor dot cs. So here you can see we have created this. So if I minimize this and I will go here, this thing will be grouped. So here we can see we have pages, manage activity, and you can see now these two things have been grouped. Like these two things have been grouped, but it won't be shown here. It will be separated in a normal solution explorer and or normal file explorer, whatever it is. So yeah, now we can move every code from here. Let's copy this thing and let's delete this code section, and let's paste all the things here. Okay, now we have pasted these things, but it will be defined inside the class. So let's see, C# class, that's my snippet that I have created for myself, and manage activity, that's it. Let's see what is the project name, activity tracker, Blazor activity tracker dot pages. That's good. And why I am getting error here, already container definition for manage activity. So what should I do? So if we already have its definition, then it means we have to define it with a partial class. So I hope it won't be mad now. Okay, public partial class manage activity contains now it should not have any problem, but yeah, it is giving me problem. So how can we fix it? Public partial class, first of all let's comment these things. Okay, so we are inside manage activity folder, then I hope it would be good if I type here manage activity. Now you can see that we are absolutely fine. Now let's uncomment these guys. So yeah, now here we have this one problem, type namespace this do not found. So we will type here data access dot models dot activity, and now we should be fine. Okay, and what if I want to inject something here? So for that, what we will do, we'll just type here let's see, I logger, name of class manage activity, logger get set, and here we will just type inject, and let's type here try, catch, exception, oops, exception ex, and here we can type logger dot log error ex dot message. Okay, so here we are seeing this error. I don't know it's actually error or not. Manage activity. Let's run this project and let's see what's happening. And you can see everything is working as expected, as we are expecting. So let's type here and let's see. Here you can see we are logging these 3 values, and here is our reset. Okay, let's see. Let's do one more thing here. Let's change it to logger and logger.log message. We should have something like this. No, we do not have this. So we have this logger.log method. Okay, let's change it to, just type here logger.log debug, and here we will type submitted. Let's see, will it work in console or not. It would work if we are using Visual Studio, but it would work in VS Code or not, I'm not sure. I'm just going to check it. Yeah, it's not a necessary part for this project, but yeah, actually I'm doing it just for fun. And one more thing, here we are logging these things, so these things will logged to console. If you want to log it to file or database, then you have to use some kind of logger like nlog, serilog, or log4net, and you can find the videos for logging on nlog or serilog, but you cannot find log4net in this channel. What I want to say that if you want to log these things to files, then you can check videos on this channel or whenever you want to check, and you can use those things. So these things will only log to the console. So let's see, let's just type here and 3 this thing, and here we can see actually here is nothing is logging. Yeah, and that's not the problem. So logging is actually not the part of this course. I just have attached it just for the fun. I just want to show you how we can inject anything here. So right now we are injecting our logger here, and in future we will inject our repository just like this. So now what we will do, we have done form submission. After that we will work on our this activity list component. So we will pass data to the activity list, which will be a list of activities, and we will pass some dummy list there, and from there we will invoke 2 methods, which is edit and delete. So we will work on these things on upcoming part, or if it is a single part, then in the further part. Okay, now we will work on activity list page. So go here in the UI section and open the activity list razor page, and now we will work on it. So first of all, we will define this activities property, which will be a parameter, and we will get this data from our parent. And now here we have this on edit property, and it is for invoking a method from the parent. It means from parent we will invoke this on edit function, and here we will have one more thing, which is on delete. and we will also invoke some method through this property. Now we have a handle delete function, sorry, handle edit, and here we will actually invoke this on edit. So it is a handle edit method which we will call from here, and it will invoke this thing that will be connected to our parent. So basically we are passing data from child to our parent through this event callback. Now we will have this handle delete method, and here we will invoke this on delete property which will pass some data to our parent. So if we want to pass any data to our parent, then we have to use this event callback. And if we want to get some data from our parent, it means we want to pass data from parent to child, then we just have to write here parameter, then we are able to share that data. But if we have to pass data backward, it means from child to parent, then we have to use this event callback. So now let's do one thing here, and let's delete this guy, this guy, this guy, and let's define a loop here. So we'll just type here @for each var item, or var activity will be much more sensible in activities. Okay, and let's close this block here, and here we will define things like, oops, not this, activity dot id, not id, what it was, date. So activity dot activity date dot to string, and dd YYY. Here is the format of date. Actually it is a Indian format, date, date, month and year. Activity dot total hours, and here we will define one last thing, activity dot description. That's it, and here we will call those methods. So on click equals to on click, oops, on click equals to this handle edit, and here we will pass the activity, and let's copy this guy again, and here we will paste this thing. We will just change it to handle delete activity. So when we click on this button, so what it will do, it will call this handle edit method, and this handle edit method will invoke this property, and through it we can pass the information to our parent. So obviously we have defined this thing here, then we also have to call them from here. So first we will pass our activities, and after that we have these methods. So these properties, let's see what was those. Oops, here on edit and on delete. So here we will also call them on edit and on delete. So we will define few methods here, no, here. So let's say we are, okay, not here, here. So let's suppose we have some data, I enumerable, oops, I enumerable activities equals to new I enumerable activities. Oops, this, and let's copy this thing, paste it here, paste it here. We cannot instantiate enumerable, so it should be a list. Okay, so here let's assume, yeah, actually we will fetch these things later, but for now we are just passing some random data. So yeah, let's define some random data here. New data access dot models dot activity, and let's say activity date equals to date time dot UTC now, total hours equals to 4, and description equals to working on C#. Okay, so now we have these activities and we can pass them here. Okay, let's define method for these edit and on delete. So we'll define the methods here. So here inside the manage activity.razor.cs page, we'll define our two methods. First one will be handle edit, and it will take a parameter of type data access.model.activity, and its name is submitted activity, and we will assign activity equals to submitted activity. It means our form will be refilled with this data. And here in handle edit, we will just type console.writeLine and activity to delete.id deleted. So now we will test these things. So here let's run this application. So now we are in our activity section, and here we can see, and it is not working. So let's close this guy and let's see what is happening here. And all of here is red. Actually here is not any error. I don't know, it's a bug of VS Code. So one thing I have messed here, let's see. Yeah, here I haven't passed any method. So we have defined a method for this. It is activity.razor.cs, and here you can find the name of method. So first one is handle edit. Okay, and one more method, handle delete. So we are actually binding these method to our child method. So handle edit will be binded to this on edit, which we have defined in the child. This is on edit and this is on delete, and we are calling these things from here, and we are assigning some methods to them, and here we are passing a data. So I guess it should be activity, and I guess it should be activity2 at the rate activity at the rate activities, and let's see. So I'm going to restart this editor. I'm getting a few errors here. Let's see will it resolve or not. Okay, so I'm running the project again, and let's see how it is looking. So here we are again, and again I'm seeing this data. I don't know why I'm seeing the old data. I didn't know why it is picking this thing and from where it is picking this thing, data and DESC, because I have changed it here and it's still picking the old data. So that's certainly a problem here. I don't know how to resolve it yet, but I guess we are getting some problem from our VS Code, and you can see that the development with VS Code is not quite perfect. So yeah, now I have closed it. Let's run it with command .net run. Let's see what will happen now. So now I'm seeing the error with this command, build failed. At least I'm seeing the error, and when I was using this to run the project, I was not seeing even an error. So activity date, I don't know why I am getting this error. Should it be like this? Activity date dot toString, and yeah, I guess we are fine now. Let's run this thing again. Let's see what will happen. And again I am getting the error, and it is saying that this thing blah 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 is being used by another process. Okay, so that's a very unusual error for me. Let's see how we can resolve it. The only way to do it, just close the Visual Studio Code, and I hope this error will go. Actually, I had to restart my machine, and then this problem get away. So there was not a problem in a code except for this toString syntax. Otherwise everything is fine in this code, but somehow I'm getting the error. So I have restarted my system, and then I have opened the project again, and I have run this project with .NET run, and now I'm not seeing any error here, and I'm also seeing latest data here which we have here. So now we can test things. So if I click on this edit button, you can see we have this thing here. Yeah, and if I click on this delete button, you can see 0 deleted. Okay, so now we can see that everything is working as we have expected. Now we can stop this thing, and we can close this thing too. We will move further, and let's see what we can do now. So now we have done these UI thing, and one thing that has remained, which is let me show you. We haven't worked on this filter component yet, but we will do it later. So first of all, let's see, let's display some data and something like that, or just add some data. So now we will work on actual database activity from now. So for that we will go here and we will write some code. So now we will create enum here. So let's create a folder, helpers, and here let's name it, what should be an appropriate name? Helper should be fine, or maybe utility will be fine, I don't know, but let's work on the logic. States.cs. okay, and here we will define public enum, name of enum is states, and here we will define, let's say, error will be 0, and completed, then pending, then error completed pending, and here should be one more. What it could be? It should be none. Okay, so error completed, pending, and none. Its value will be 1, it's 2, and none will be 3. So let's see, it will be 1, and it will be 2, it will be 3. So, and here we will define a namespace. So namespace, if you are using Visual Studio, then this namespace will be created automatically. So here we will have a namespace. Let's see, Blazor activity tracker. It is the name of our project, and helpers. That's it. So now again you can see that here we are seeing the error, and here now we are fine, and now we don't have any error. Okay, now here inside the pages we will create one more folder, and it will be shared, and inside the shared we will create few pages. Like here we will create a spinner, and here we will define a bootstrap spinner. That's it. And we will create one more thing, alert.razor. Here we will define our razor page, and here we will define one more thing, alert.razor.cs, and here we will define some what we say, we will define some logic. Okay, and actually it should not be a CS, it should be a CSS. So here we will define our CSS, not logic. Okay, pardon me for that. Now let's work on this spinner dot razor page, and oops, from where it has come. Okay, so now we will define this div, okay, which have the class spinner border x, and it is a bootstrap class. You can easily go here, bootstrap 5, and here you can find the spinner. So if I search here spinner, so you can see that we have this spinner class equals to spinner border, which we have defined here, and we will remove this x. Spinner border is the class, not x, and here you can see role equals to its status. So from here I have copied this code, and here you can see this loading thing which we will define now, and here we will define one more CSS class. So class is for the color of border. So you can see that we have multiple color loader. We will pass the CSS class from parent. Let's suppose if I want this blue color loader, then I will pass the text primary class. If I need this color, then I will pass this one. If I need this yellow one, then I will pass text warning. Otherwise I will pass info, or I can also pass text dark if I need this thing, this black color loader. So I will pass this thing from my parent. So here this code, and here CSS class is a property, and by default it have text warning. It means if I do not pass anything, then its class, its value will be text warning. So here we can see text warning is this yellow one. So by default our spinner will be a yellow color spinner. So I have created this shared module so that we can use this thing easily in a whole project. So wherever I need a spinner, then I will call this component and I will pass this value, and we are done. We can use this spinner from anywhere in our project. Now we will work on this alert.razor page. So here it is the same. bootstrap thing. If we can go here, so here you can see that we have these alert boxes, but we will define some logic. Logic will be like this: after 1 or 2 seconds, these things will automatically fade away. Since we cannot use directly JavaScript here, so we will use some CSS and we will do some weird kind of hacks. So we will do that here, but here we can see that we are just using these bootstrap classes, alert primary. So we are just defining alert here, and the second class we will pass from parent. So if we want a red color, a danger kind of alert box, then we will just pass alert danger from our parent. So our class will be alert, and this CSS class will be alert danger, which will be passed from the parent. And here we will define message, which we will define here. So this message will be retrieved from the parent. And now another property, CSS class, which is a string type, and we will pass the CSS class from parent to. Okay, and now we will define that weird hack to do fade out. So here we will have this on initialized async. So it is a kind of constructor. So this block will be the first block that will execute on this page. So whenever we load this hello.razor page, the first thing will execute it this on initialized async. So this method will be called when our component is initialized, and here we will just call this await task dot delay 1000. So when this page, or sorry, it's not a page, when this component is loaded, initially it will be delayed for 1 second. Okay, and after 1 second we will append this class fade out to our CSS class. So basically what we are doing, after 1 second we are appending this fade out class to this element, and we will define this CSS here. So it is a CSS for fade out, opacity 1, animation fade out 1s 1 second, ease in out forward. We will define animation for this fade out here. So in 0% opacity will be 1, and in 100% opacity will be 0, and display will be none. That's it, and we can close these things now because we do not need them. So first of all, we will inject our activity repository here. So we will use this keyword inject that we have used earlier here, and now here we will define a property of type iActivity repository. So it will be private iActivity repository activity repos get set. So it is our property. Now we will work on this handle submit method. So we will save our data to the database. So let's delete this guy and this guy and this guy, and now we will define our functionality here. So here we will define some functionality to add or update our record. We will define both functionality here on the basis of if condition, and here first of all we will set our state to pending. So whenever user click on submit button, our state will be set to pending, and we will get a loader or something like that. Yeah, we will display a spinner there while condition or state is pending, and after that we will check if activity date exists or not. Why we are doing this? Because we want to check whether activity date is exist on database or not. Means we can only enter a single entry for a particular date. So for example, for For today you cannot do two entries in database. So yeah, so that's how I have designed this database. I do not want to make two entries for a single day, and you can change it if you want. Yeah, so that's not a big case, but when you will create reports, so you have to do a little bit change in the logic. Okay, so now we will check if activity repository contains sorry, not activity repository, we have to check if date exists in database or not. It means if a record with this date exists in database or not. So we have created this method for that, and if activity date exists, then what we will do here, we will set state to error, and we will define a message here: activity date already exists, please select a different one. Otherwise we will move to the else condition, and here we will check activity id equals to 0. What does it means? So when you will do a fresh entry, it means you are adding a record to database, then our activity id will be 0. If you are updating a record, then our activity id will be greater than 0. So here inside this if block, we will add record to database. So here we have called this method add activity async activity and activities dot add activity. So here we are updating entry to the database, and here we are updating our local state which we have defined here. It should be somewhere here. Yeah, this one is here. So we are also adding this entry to our activity list. So we are managing both our local state and state of database. We are managing both things here. Now here else we will update our records, and we will set message equals to save successfully, and our state will be now changed to completed. And here we will call handle form reset. It means our form will be reset after that. Now we will do some error handling here, log message and set message to error has occurred, and we will change the state to error. Okay, now we are done here, and our handle submit method is being called here, activity form, and here. So this method will be called on form submit. So let's run our project. Okay, so here let's write .net run, and now I'm seeing this error: pages shared alert .razor.css was defined blah blah blah. So yeah, I have done some mistake here, probably in the UI, no, here. Okay, so these names are mismatched, alert and aleret. So let's change this thing, let's correct this. Okay, so our css file and our component file name should be same. It is alert, capital alert. It should be capital alert dot razor dot css. So these two names should be same. Okay, now let's try to run this code, .net run, and again here I am seeing these. Yeah, I don't know why these errors are happening here. I don't know, is Blazor is that much buggy, or error is in my code, or these things happens in VS Code because I do not use VS Code too much. uh, I don't know, but here let's see what it is saying. It's probably in my code building, and here we'll see that the type name space name my activity repository could not be found, blah blah. Okay, so it would be nice if it gives some error before the compile time, but it was not showing any kind of error before the compiling the code. Now it is showing the error, so yeah, that's not a good thing. I think Microsoft should have done some work on that thing, or it might be a problem only in my editor, so I'm not sure that it's a global problem or just mine. Okay, so let's see why we are getting this error. It is saying that it does not exist here. Oh yeah, okay, it does not exist here. That's fine because we haven't defined anything here. So we have to call its namespace here, and it should be somewhere data access dot repositories, and now it should be fine. Again, I'm getting the error, so I guess I have to type here data access. No, not data access. What is this project? Blazor activity tracker. Okay, dot helpers, and state does not exist in the current. Okay, I thought I had to define helpers because we are using these enumerables here. So let's comment it for now, and let's define this state here. Okay, so we will define our state somewhere here. You can define it anywhere, so let's define it. So we will define state here. It should be integer type. Int state equals to states dot none, and we will convert it to int. Int. Okay, so here you can see it has automatically added this line here. Okay, now we have to define this message here too. So here string message equals to this. Okay, now we are getting few errors like this. Okay, we have defined our state and message here, so there shouldn't be any problem. Now what it is saying, await operator can only be used within a async method. Okay, so let's change it to async void handle submit. Okay, and is activity date exists, so we will check that thing. I guess I haven't defined it now, so let's find it our repository, activity repository, and yeah, find activity by ID. Let's search this thing, is activity date exists. I think I have to go here, activity repository, and I will easily find there. So yeah, we do not have this method. It is activity date exists. Okay, so we will define it now. That's not be the case, and we already have a SQL for that. I have defined it here, so we can check. We can use this query for that. Select upon ID from activity where convert this convert date. First we will convert our date, and then we will check that date which we are getting from the client, and id does not equals to id. It means we also have to check that we are adding record or updating record. Okay, so now we will write that method. Now here in the activity repository.cs class we will write the method. So it will be public async task bool is activity date exists, and here we will pass two parameters, date time activity date and int id. We are just using the pretty much the same thing which we have done here. We are creating a connection here, and here it is our query that I have talked about earlier. Select upon id from activity where this date equals to the date which we are getting from our parameter, and id does not equals to id. Here activity id equals to await connection dot query first or default async. Here we will pass SQL, and now here we will pass our anonymous object with these two fields, activity date and id. Okay, so at last we will check activity id is greater than 0, and we will return that thing. So if activity date is exists, then it will be true, otherwise it will be false. And let's define this thing here also. Okay, and semicolon, that's good. And now it is fine, but it is saying something, activity date cannot convert system.datetime to system.datetime. Yeah, it is a problem of nullability. So let's go here. It is activity, yeah, this thing is non-nullable and this thing is nullable. Now let's open the activity. Oops, not control F, it should be control P, activity.cs, and here we have this thing, and now it is non-nullable. That's good, and now error is gone. Okay, so we are good so far. Now this thing is creating a problem. Generate state has changed, and one problem is here, handle form reset. It is also giving a problem, so it is handle reset. Okay, and it should be state has, oops, I guess we are missing something here too. So what should be here, state has changed. Okay, so behind the scene I have searched it in the Google, and here we have the definition of state has changed, and it is available from 3 to 8. Okay, and its namespace is microsoft.aspnetcore.components. So we can write here using this, and I think it should not be a problem now. Yeah, again it is giving a problem. So what should be a problem using soft dot, let's use it here, and here you can see that it does not have a dark color. It means we are not using the namespace, and actually okay, so we are already using this namespace, so that should not be the case. it should be a different case. The name state has changed, does not exist in current context. Okay, so I am stuck here in this problem, and that's bad. Okay, so let it be like as it is. Maybe it is not a problem, maybe it is showing unnecessary error, but it is the error here. So yeah, IEnumerable does not actually contain a add method, so it is a read only one, so we have to change it to list, and now we should be fine here. And we have only this error, and let's see, oops, let's run here to see. Let's clear this thing and dot net build. Let's see, do we have an error or not? And we have some error here, I don't know, here UI activity list dot razor and UI activity list dot razor, and it is saying the error is in date time thing. So where is it? Operator question mark cannot be applied to operand of type datetime projects.net Blazor activity tracker and Blazor activity tracker dot cs proj. Okay, activity list dot razor 1436. Here is 14. Okay, so we have changed our nullable date time to non-nullable. Now we do not need a question mark here. Okay, so let's build this project again. So I'm going to open the terminal again here, and let's run the .NET build command, and let's see, do we have any error now or not? Okay, now we do not have any error, and it is showing unnecessarily error message here. It's saying that blah blah blah. So I don't know, it is a bug in Blazor or bug in VS Code. I do not know about it, and it's quite an annoying. .NET watch run or .NET. Let's try this one, .NET run. Okay, finally we have run our project successfully. So we will open this project here, and okay, now we have this activity page, and let's try to add it for this date. Let's type 4 hours, and let's say Blazor server. Let's type here save, and everything is working fine. It has added here. Okay, and it should be added to database. Now we will work on some UI stuff now. Okay, so now open your manage activity razor page, and here in this column d5 section we will check if state is pending. Then we will call this spinner component, and if state is error and message length is greater than 0, then we will call this error component, and we will pass our message and CSS class to alert danger. Okay, and if state is completed and message length is greater than 0, then we will again call this alert component, and we will pass a message and a CSS class with alert success. And here let's remove this guy, and let's call this thing So it will add this line here, this line actually, and now let's see where we have defined it. We have defined error.razor here in the shared section, and we already have got this thing here, and we can import this thing globally. So we can use imports.razor page, and if we define it here, then we do not have to define in every component. So here we can use this thing globally. Okay, so now we're looking good. So let's run this thing, clear and dot net watch run. Let's see what will happen here. I hope we do not have any error. It's saying it is displaying lot of error here. This is a red one, this is red one, this is red one, this is red one, and it is indicating that I have error everywhere in my project. And that's not the case that I have some problem. Yeah, it is, I don't know what should I say to it. It is saying dot waiting for a file to change before okay, so we have this error here. It's not a fake one this time. It is saying that the name state does not exist in the current context. Let's see. States does not exist in the current context. Okay, so this states does not exist in the current context. So actually what I want to say that if it is error, then it should show some error here, like it is showing here the error warning, this yellow underline. It should show some yellow underline or red underline here, but it is not showing anything here, and that thing I do not like about this. Okay, so actually what we can do about it, I hope this thing will be resolved with version 8, Blazor 8. Okay, so it is saying that this states does not exist here, so we need to import it. And let's see where we have defined it. We have defined it inside the helpers. So let's define it inside the import section. Okay, and let's define here using Blazor activity tracker dot helpers. So let's see, do we have any errors now? And so it has started automatically. Let's close this one. Okay, and now we will move here to the activity section, and let's add one more thing for date 23 5 description ABCD. Let's save it, and you can see everything working absolutely fine. So let's try to add one more detail for date 24. Let's add this and this, and it should give some kind of error message here that I am not seeing. And here we do not have an error again. So yeah, we will see what is happening here. Actually, this thing is constantly moving and it is not showing any error. So what should we do now? Okay, let's test this thing later, and let's see. here let's click on this. Okay, we can't update it right now, so what should we do now? Actually, one thing we can do here, we can debug the code. So for that we have to stop this and we need to run it from here. Okay, and we can put breakpoint here. Okay, and here let's do an entry for date 24 for ABC. Let's see. Try state is pending, and this one is true, it exists. So here state dot error message, this activity date already exists, please select different one, and okay, and here nothing is getting changed, we do not have displaying any error message, so problem might be here. Okay, so if we are moving here states dot error, and here if state is pending, then spinner, and state is this error, state is incomplete. So now we should be in error state. Let's check it again. So let's go here and go here, here it already exists. Now state equals to states dot error. Okay, and state dot message, this activity date already exists, and this one, then we are exited from here and no progress at all. So can we display it? States dot pending, can we do it? Let's run this thing again. No, yeah, let's remove this thing and let's do this thing. State, yeah, this one. Let's see what is happening here. So let's run this project again and let's open the states.cs page. So 0 1 2 3, none is 3, so here we have this error. Okay, and let's add this report again. So okay, actually I have run it so many times. Now we can say that we have our state equals to 2. Let's run this thing again and let's check it again. Here for this, and if we go here, okay, and now it has 2, state 2, so where is this? Okay, pending. So yeah, it should be 1, but somehow it is not changing the state, and that is the problem. So we will actually, let's work on this thing later. Okay, let's work on this thing later. First, let's display some records, so we can display the records here. Let's close this thing and this thing, activity repository, high activity repository, and let's work on the displaying records. Okay, so now we would like to inject a thing here. It should be like inject by JS runtime, and that should be fine. And after that we will work on the load async method. Okay, so now we will define this method here, load activities, and it will take 2 parameters, start date and end date. Both are optional. We will also apply filtering here, and here inside the try block, first we will set state to pending. Now we will check if start date and end date both are not null. It means we have to filter our record. So we will call this await activity repose dot get all async activities, get all activities async method, and we will pass these 2 parameters. Otherwise we will not pass these 2 parameters. That's the simple case. And now here we will change our state to completed, and now we will log a message and a message, set a message. Oops. Okay, and here should be one more thing that I'm missing. It should be error. Now our state should be error after that. Okay, so that should be a good thing. And here we will remove this thing, so by default it will be empty. Okay, and now we will have a method here on initialized. Actually we should not define it here, let's define here. Okay, so let's define here on initialized. Actually, why it is not working? Protected override async on initialized. It should it be protected override async task? On initialized async await load activities, and what it is saying, no suitable method found to override manage activity dot on initialized. I think I don't know what the hell is happening here. It's saying that this method does not exist, so how do I believe it? How can I believe it? .net build, let's see. So I do not believe in myself how buggy this thing. Yeah, here you can see that here it is clearly displaying an error, and here you can see 9 warning and 0 errors. Okay, so it's okay, what we can do. So what we have done here, we have this life cycle method. So this method is called when our component is initiated. So it is the first method that is going to be called. So when our component get initialized, we will load our activity. So we will call this method, and we have defined this method here. So we will call this method, and by default it does not have any parameters. So we will go here in the else condition, and we will set activity is equals to whatever we get from our repository. So whatever we get from our repository, we will assign it to activities. Then this activity is get loaded, and after that we will pass that activity list to our activity list component here, and the activity list component will display all these items. So that is the logic here. So let's run this code again, and let's see what will happen. .NET run, and let's wait for it. So let's minimize this thing, and let's go here, and let's close this thing, and let's see. Yeah, now it has run. So here we can see that now we have to record. So let's click on this thing, and let's try it to this and this. So saved successfully, and it has this one displaying here. Okay, so we will remove it later. It is a reminder that we have some error in our code. Okay, now we can see that we have updated our code successfully. If we refresh this thing, then you can see the changes are persistent. Okay, let's add one more record, and let's see, let's 8, and let's say R and D on .NET C#. Let's click on this, saved successfully, and you can see instantly we have added this thing here. Okay, so we have done our add and edit, but add have some error, and now we can work on either on delete or either on this thing. So let's work on delete first. So let's work on the delete method here, and where it is. Okay, so this one. Okay, so first of all we will delete this line. Okay, so now let's work on this thing. So first we will define a try catch block here, and we will set our state to pending, and after that what we will do, we will check if we want to delete or not. So we will invoke windows.confirm method, and windows.confirm method cannot be invoked directly from our C# code. So that's why we were using here this, we were injecting this IJS runtime so that we can use some JavaScript inside our C# code, and here we can use this invoke async method, and we will use other thing, the other half, like the JavaScript code. So here we have defined our method, which is confirm windows.confirm, and here it is our message, are you sure to delete? If result, okay, if result is true, then we will set message equals to deleted successfully, and we will call delete async and delete activity async method, and we will pass this data. Okay, and after last we will also remove it from our local state. So that is a list, so we will also remove it from our local state, and here we will set our state to completed. After that we will do some error handling here. So we will log our error, set message equals to this, and set our state equals to states dot error, and let's run this code again. .NET run. Okay, now we have run our project, and we will click on this. You can see we have now this pop-up message. It is asking that do you want to delete or not, and actually it has, I wonder why it is cancel. When I have clicked on cancel, it has activated this state. Okay, so that is one bug here. So let's try to delete this record from date 24, and it has deleted successfully. Okay, now we can refresh this page, and you can see we don't have any record. It means it also have deleted from database. And yeah, I know where problem could be. First, let's stop this thing, and let's set this state inside here. Okay, so when user say yes, I want to delete, then we will set pending. Okay, otherwise everything is fine. So we can test it again, and let's run this guy again. Let's wait for a while. Okay, now we are good here, and now we are also good here. So let's see, I clicked on this cancel and everything is fine. So let's delete this thing and delete this thing. Okay, now let's add few entries here. So let's add 422. No, let's add 1, and this day I have worked 12 hours and done some coding stuff. Okay, after that let's do this entry. Let's add here and worked on .NET C#. That's it. And 110, and after that 22, 6 hour, and worked on JavaScript. Okay, and 22, after that 23, here 3 hours, 4 hours, worked on, let's see, worked on YouTube tutorial 21, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and after that 23, 24, Angular, .NET, YouTube tutorial. That's it. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. 22, let's work on 21, 2 hours, wrote an article. 20, let's say on 2 of October, let's say I have worked 4 hours on Angular and .NET Core. And 3rd of October, let's do one more entry, and done some research on AI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here you can see that we are displaying 8 records. But if we go here in a repository section, we go here, and if we see, actually we cannot see it here. Let's see, where is our SQL file? So if we go here in the stored procedure, you can see that by default we are fetching 7 records from the database, but we can see that by default we are getting 8 records, and whatever we add, they will be added here. So we haven't done any we haven't put any condition on the client side, and that's totally okay. That's not be the case, But if we go here in the home and again in the activity section 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, now you can see that we are retrieving 7 records from the database. Okay, so now we will work on this thing. So here it is, this one, and UI. So now we will work on this filter.razor page, and first of all we will import this view model, Blazor activity tracker dot view models namespace, and now we will define a button that will load all the records. So okay, so its value will be all. After that we will work on our code section, these two fields, start date and end date, and we will bind these things to these two input fields. Okay, now here we have this parameter, so with the help of this we will pass some data to our parent, and with the help of this we can invoke method from our parent. So these two things will do the same job, but there is one difference. We will pass data with the help of event callback, but with the help of action we will just invoke a method and won't pass any data to the parent. Now we will have this method, and here we will create an object. So start date equals to start date that we have defined here, and end date. So these two value will come from our input boxes. After that we will invoke on select date, this one dot invoke async, and we will pass some data to it. Now we will have the handle load all method that we will invoke from this guy. So on load all dot invoke, so when we call this method, this thing on load all will get invoked, and we will not pass any data here. That's why we are using it. And start date equals to null, and now we will bind our start date here, and we will bind end date also. So bind equals to end date. Okay, and here we will call on click method equals to, we will call our methods here. So here we will call our handle, let's see, what was it, select date. Okay, and here we will call this handle load all. So let's change it to capital S. That should be the naming convention in C#. Okay, select date, and here will be one more thing, and date equals to null. Okay, so everything should be fine. So here I'm just going to cross check everything is working and fine or not. .net build. Okay, so we have no errors so far. Now we will work on this manage activity.razor.cs page. Okay, and before that we want to do one thing here. Let's copy this guy and open import.razor page and paste this guy here, because we are going to this thing also in the manage activity.razor.cs file. So open this manage activity.razor.cs page. Okay, so now we will import a namespace here, which is Blazor activity tracker.view model. So we cannot use our globally defined things which we have defined here, and we cannot use these things here because these things are for components, and this one is just a CS file. It is not a Razor component. That's why we cannot use these things here. Okay, that's okay. So that's why we are using this thing, importing these namespace, this namespace here. And after that, what we will do, we will go here at the end and here we will define some functionality. So here we will have this handle select date, and it will have this parameter, and we will set start date equals to filters dot start date end date, and if start date and end date both are not null, then we will call load activities method, and we will pass these things here. So here we have this load activities method. That's why we have right here the if else condition. Now we can go here inside this if condition. Okay, and now we will define this handle load all method, and we will call load activities method without any parameters, and state has changed method. So whenever we are doing something from our child, the state will not change. So that's why we are using the state has changed method here, because we are trying to change our state from the child, so we need to call this method. Okay, so that's fair enough. Now we can move here, and we have to call these things. So first thing we need to call are on select date, then on load all, these two parameters. So go here equals to, and one more which will be load all, and we will call load all here. That's okay. Now we will assign our method which we have defined here. So first one will be this one, handle select date. So we will paste this thing here. Okay, and another one will be manage load all, and this thing will be like this. Okay, now let's see what will happen if I type here .NET run. Do I get some error or not? Let's see, let's wait, and run. Okay, now we do not have any error. That's fantastic. Let's refresh this page, and let's see. Okay, so here we have these records. So let's search. We cannot see here the record from date 1. So let's search record from 1 to 5. Let's see what will happen if I click on this search button. 1 2 3, you can see, now we can see these records of 1 to 10. Let's see, yeah, now we have records from 1 to 10, 1 to 24, and see, now we have all records from 1 to 24. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We have total 8 records. If I click on this all button, now our state has been reset, and these two things have been reset. Now here is one problem that has been remained. Now we do not have anything here. We don't have actually, so we have an error here. So if I type to add 24, and because we already have entry on date 24, let's try to add something here, and here we cannot see any error message, and that's the problem. So let's try to solve this problem. Okay, so now let's work on that error. And here, first of all, we are going to go here, and let's remove this thing state. We do not need it now, and let's put something here in the handle submit method. So we are here in the handle submit method in the try block at okay, so let's do one thing here. State has changed. Okay, and now we're good. So now I have restarted my system, and you can see now we do not have any red error messages here, and state has changed is also working fine. So our state was not changing when we are entering here. So that's why I am manually triggering state has changed method here. So it might there might be another solution for that, and I'm not aware about that. So I am manually triggering the state here. This thing might not be that much good, so do research on your own. State has changed is good or not. So okay, so now let's run this project again, and here I'm gonna type .net run. That's good. And let's see, let's wait. Okay, it is taking. Okay, so we are done here, and I'm gonna click on this thing, control plus mouse click, it will open here. And now let's go here, and actually I already have tested this thing, so let's see how it is going here. Okay, so for the date 24, let's try to add this thing, and you will see, oops, I have done it for date 25. I'm going to remove this thing again, and for the date 24, let's add here 4. And now again, this activity date already exists, please add another one, please select the different one. So here we are done with this thing. Okay, so now let's see what we can do now. So let's go here in the activity list, and let's search here list, activity list dot razor, and here let's do one thing at the end. Let's go here and let's type here div class equal to px4. That's it. And okay, now we're fine. What if I try here total and total hours equals to, let's see, at the rate activities dot sum a dot total hours. Let's see, will it work or not. I'm not sure will it work or not, so let's try this. Okay, so here let's see .net run. So here you can see we have total hours 30, and what if I change it to 1 to 4? What will happen then? So here I don't think it is going to work fine. So right now it will work fine, it will work fine. So when it will not work fine, so what if I just change its hour from 5 to 4? So it should be 29. Okay, so it is working fine here, that's extremely fine. Okay, so let's change it again, and let's change it to this. Okay, it is working as expected. So let's add entry for today. So let's see, it's 25 now. Let's add 8, it should be 33 now. So let's add worked on Blazor server project. Okay, so it is working absolutely fine, and I'm amazed with it. Okay, so one last thing what we can do here is, first of all, let's just stop this. Okay, now after that, let's see what we can do here. Let's do some decoration here. So style, font size 16 px, font, weight, bold. So let's see how it is looking. .NET watch run, and we will run it in watch mode so that we can tweak our CSS. So here we can see we have little bit CSS here, but we need to change it to 26px, and let's see how it is looking. Okay, so total hours 32. Okay, so that's too big. Let's do it to 22. Let's see how it is looking. And yeah, it is looking much fine now. Total hours 32, so that's good. P it should be py4, not px. Now we are good. So py4, and py4 is too much, so let's do it py2. Okay, now we are very good here. So we have this home, activity, login, sign up, and we haven't worked on these things, and that's totally okay. So it is our app. We have finally completed our application. So I think that's it for this project. So yeah, that's it for now. See you next time.